Listen, let me tell you a story about a man called Chike. Chike was big and strong, the kind of man who walked around the village as if the ground itself belonged to him. People stepped aside when he passed. His voice was loud, his chest always puffed out with pride. He was feared, respected, or so he thought. But by the time you reach the end of this story, you will laugh, because this same Chike, who once made grown men uncomfortable, would become the most henpecked husband in the entire village. But let me not rush ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. Chike married his first wife, Amora, when he was 25 years old. On their wedding day, the whole village came alive. Drums beat, women danced, and men clapped their hands in celebration. Chike smiled like a man who had just won the lottery. Amora was beautiful, quiet, and respectful. Her parents had trained her well. She could cook. She could clean. She never talked back to elders. She never raised her voice. Chike's chest swelled with pride. Finally, he thought, a woman who will obey me without question. But that smile on Chike's face disappeared faster than free food at a village meeting. One evening, Amora served him dinner. The soup was warm. The fufu was soft. Everything was perfect. Chike tasted the soup, then suddenly squeezed his face like a man who had bitten a lemon. Amora, he barked, this soup is cold. Cold like ice. Are you trying to poison me? Amora's hands began to shake. I'm sorry, my husband. Let me warm it for you. Warm it. Chike shouted. You should have brought it hot from the beginning. Do I look like a man who eats cold food? Am I a beggar? The truth was simple, the soup was not cold at all. It just wasn't boiling hot. But Chike enjoyed finding problems where there were none. If the food was too hot, he complained. If it was too cold, he complained. If it was just right, he still found something wrong. Maybe the plate was dirty. Maybe she used her left hand. Maybe the moon was not shining brightly enough. Anything. Everything. That night, he slapped Amora for the first time. Her crime was serving soup that was not even cold. Amora cried quietly in the corner while Chike ate his food and belched loudly, satisfied. That was how it began. Soon, it became the pattern of their marriage. Chike found any reasons, to raise his hand against her. At night, the villagers heard Amora's cries, but they turned their faces away. It's between husband and wife, they said. We cannot interfere. At the stream, village women saw bruises on Amora's arms. They shook their heads and whispered, but nobody did anything. Not her parents. Not the elders. Nobody. They all believed the husband had the right to discipline his wife however he pleased. For 7 long years, Amora suffered. She became thin like a broomstick. The shine left her eyes. She stopped laughing. She stopped talking. She simply existed, moving through life like a ghost. Every morning, she woke up, cooked, cleaned, and hoped that maybe, just maybe, Chike would be in a good mood. But good moods were rare in Chike's house. One night, after a particularly brutal beating, Amora went to sleep and never woke up. Her body simply gave up. The village herbalist examined her and shook his head sadly. Her spirit has left, he said. She was tired of suffering. You would think Chike would feel guilty. You would be wrong. At the funeral, Chike cried like a man who had lost the love of his life. Tears rolled down his cheeks like rain. It was an Oscar-worthy performance. The villagers who did not know the truth felt sorry for him. Poor Chike, they said. He loved his wife so much. If only they knew. After the burial and mourning period, Chike wasted no time. In his heart, he was already planning. Exactly 3 months later, he began searching for a second wife. This time, he decided to be smarter. He would choose a woman from far away, someone who had never heard Amora's story. That was how he met Enem in a neighboring village. She had smooth skin, a gentle smile, and eyes that stayed on the ground when men spoke. She was young, innocent-looking, and quiet. Perfect. This one will give me no trouble, Chak thought. Enem's father, a poor farmer, was happy to accept the bride price. My daughter is very obedient, he told Chak proudly. She never argues. She will make you a good wife. Chak smiled. Another quiet one. The wedding was small and simple. Enem moved into Chak's house with only a few belongings. From the very first day, she behaved like the perfect wife. She woke before dawn. She cooked. She cleaned. She listened with her head bowed. When Chak shouted, she trembled. When he raised his hand, she flinched. Chak was pleased. He strutted around the village boasting to other men. Authority must be established early, he said. My wife doesn't even breathe without my permission. 6 months passed. And Chak grew careless. He began treating Enem the way he had treated Amora. He shouted. He threw food on the floor. He raised his hand, confident she would submit. But Enem never cried. She only watched him with quiet eyes. What Chak did not know was this: Enem was not what she seemed. Before agreeing to marry him, she had done her homework. She had visited his village. She had spoken to women at the market. She had heard every story about Amora, every beating, every scream, every tear. She could have refused the marriage. Instead, she made a plan. She would marry Chak and teach him a lesson he would never forget. Her obedience was an act. Her fear was fake. All those months, she studied him, his habits, his pride, his weaknesses, waiting for the perfect moment. That moment came on a Tuesday morning. Chak woke up expecting breakfast. The kitchen was silent. The pots were cold. The table was empty. Furious, he stormed into the bedroom. Enem lay calmly on the bed, reading a book. Where is my food? He roared. Do you want to die? Enem closed her book and smiled. Good morning, Chak. Did you need something? His mouth fell open. When he raised his hand, she moved. In one swift motion, she twisted his arm behind his back and slammed him to the floor. Chak screamed in pain, helpless. No, my dear husband, she said calmly. I am not a witch. I am just a woman who knows how to defend herself. She told him everything she knew about Amora. And then she told him how life would be from that day onward. From that morning, Chak cooked, cleaned, washed clothes, fetched water, and obeyed. The village watched in disbelief. The man who once ruled by fear now lived in shame. Years passed. Chak became a warning, a lesson, a story mothers told their children. And if you ever meet someone like Chik, someone who thinks power means controlling others through fear, just smile and tell them this story. If you enjoyed this story, hit the subscribe button and join the community to avoid being left behind. Power, they learned, does not belong to the cruel. And pride, once broken, never truly returns.